10 Minutes to Joy is your weekly invitation to reset, recharge, and rediscover your most joyful self through aha moments and simple energy techniques. You're listening to holistic psychotherapist Sylvia Plester-Silk. I've worked with individuals, couples, and groups. From parole officer to private practice, I've learned many lessons, and I'm ready to share. For those of you empty nesters out there, this session is for you. And for those of you that aren't empty nesters, it might be two, because you might be able to pick up one or two little tidbits to help you. So we are conditioned as women in our society to have children, to raise children, to dedicate our lives to these beings. And oftentimes, what I've experienced as a therapist is that mom and dad do really well as a couple. And then when they become parents, they forget about the importance of the coupleship and over focus on the children. Mom especially, and this is typical, it's not saying it always is true, dedicates their lives. And this can even be more true for children who have parents that are separated. So single parenthood, where mom really dedicates her entire life in making up for what they perceive as this traumatic experience of having their parents split up. In all of this, the relationship between parents get lost. So you end up empty nesters often, and around that time, divorce. Because you suddenly look at this person that you've been living with for 20 years, 25 years, and they seem like a stranger. You haven't taken the time to grow together and be together. So if you're raising children now, make sure that you're doing date nights and that you're building the relationship with your partner so that it can be maintained. Also, though, when the empty nest happens and you're all alone and these beings that you've dedicated your life to have flown the nest, I see a couple of things typically that happen here. One is they flow the nest, and by that might mean that they're still living at home these days, but they've gone off to university or they have a job, a full-time job. And parents are still trying to parent the child. And it's ineffective, because at that point, it's time to create an adult-to-adult relationship with this person and shift the dynamics, because you've already taught them what they're going to pick up from you, unless they seek you out for advice. It's the time in their lives when it's healthy, when ultimately in a better housing market, they could be purchasing their first home or moving into their first apartment, etc. That has gotten stymied because of our economy and the cost of housing. And despite that, how can you have an adult to adult relationship while they're still living in the home? So it may be that they don't tell you where they are all the time. It may be that they go out and they just let you know approximate time they're going to be home, simply for consideration and safety, because let's face it, far too many young people are getting caught up in going missing on us, which is also concerning. So looking at really how can you create a relationship for yourself that has meaning with yourself. So starting to shift that focus outward, inward, and asking yourself, what is it I need? What is it I desire? What is it I want out of life now? And then making the steps to make that happen. But it's also a time often of great grief. You've lost an important role in your life. And when people don't do that grief well, they end up feeling really sad and uncomfortable and will often pick up something to fill the void, perhaps over visiting while they're at university, if they're in residence and going a couple of times a week, every week, so that it actually interferes with their connection with their peers, which is what developmentally they should be doing right now. Oops, I just should on you. That's the developmental stage they're currently in. And then, so it's detaching in a loving way. So you're still present, but you're not omnipresent in their life anymore. And asking yourself, well, okay, so now it's my time. Where am I going to go? Where do I have friends to hang out with? What are my interests? You may have lost touch with yourself so much that you might not even know what your interests are anymore. So that's okay. Just write out a list of things you think that you might possibly be interested in. And one by one, go try them out. And if you're not interested, after you've tried it out, just write it off your list. If you go and you find something that, wow, this really feels good, I really enjoy it, I get a lot out of this, continue, rinse and repeat. Taking that time for the grief, though, I think is really important and underrated in our society. For some moms experience depression when their children leave. They may not really know how to move on. So looking at where are you in this moment, whether you're a parent of younger children or not, how can you be a parent and have a life? Because it's possible. I know it's a challenge when you're working full time and a parent, and now I'm telling you to add something off on. It's about feeding you energetically, filling up your energetic being, because that's going to make you an even better support person for that child should they need it. If you're feeling depleted, they may not want to take from you, or they may fall back and become more dependent on you out of an old pattern of behavior that suits. So looking at how can you let go? How can you find your way? It might be a course you want to take. It might be a book you want to read. It might be going to a book club. It might be taking up music lessons. Maybe you always wanted to take piano when you were a kid, but didn't have the opportunity. And fiscally, you could afford it now. It may be that you want to travel more with your spouse. And if your spouse doesn't travel, well, maybe you want to find a women's only travel group. There's many of them out there. Research them and see if they're going somewhere you're interested in and whether it's financially within your reach. There's lots of opportunities, but we get caught in the unknowing. Googling helps, but sometimes we don't know what to Google. But ultimately, it's about taking time for yourself. What are you needing as you parent? But also, after that role is no longer required in that way, letting go. And if they're still living at home, it's important to have an adult to adult relationship about, okay, so now you're shifting from being my child in our home to being an adult in our home. And what are the guidelines you need? And what are the guidelines I need to cohabitate well together, to coexist well together? And I think that it doesn't often get put out that way, and small little grievances can happen because you're still trying to tell your child what they can or cannot do. And they're now a semi-adult. So it's not cool anymore. This is the point where they can and will and are capable of making decisions. Will they make mistakes? Sure. Don't we all? We learn sometimes from our mistakes. So getting out of their way and letting them make those mistakes early on when it's sort of less expensive in a life way, not necessarily money way, and allowing them to learn for themselves those lessons they need to learn so that they can be the most successful adults that they're capable of, but also so that you can have a fulfilling, joyful life that you deserve. So it's allowing yourself to feel that grief, knowing it's real and it's true, and then asking yourself, okay, what now? What's the next step I wish to take to create the life that I truly desire now? We've shared another 10 minutes of growth together. Remember, joy is a practice, not a destination. Keep moving forward, and I'll be right here with you next Friday.